from. I mean, my main question is, just go straight with my CPA and tell her, hey, I need you to figure this out, or it's some other kind of.
Right. Okay. Great question. So yes, you can start with your CPA and ask, what tax advantages can I work towards?
Okay.
Does that make sense? So this structure may not fit people right away. You need an actual business structured properly so that you can then add them, right? It takes some work to do. You don't just go out and do it tomorrow.
Well, yeah, I mean, but...
is every CPA knowledgeable of that?
No.
That's what
okay,
he's trying to say.
that's
I guess your question is every CPA knowledgeable of this information?
So they should be. Mostly you want to talk to an attorney about it.
Okay.
On the structure part of it. Which again, Derek's going to go over after this, so you can ask him those questions. However, asking your CPA, what are the next best tax advantages that I could work towards? And maybe tell her what you heard here today, right? And so typically your CPA is going to say one thing and an attorney is going to say another, right? So my CPA is an attorney, so he gets to fight with himself.
Okay.
Yes.
There's also a really good book, I think it's called Lower Your Taxes. So Google Lower Your Taxes, and there's YouTubes and there's books and there's all kinds of
But so
stuff.
I'm gonna retract that statement only because it depends.
It's what?
It depends on people's. So when I started out as a mortgage broker 20 years ago, people would come to me saying, I want this rate. Susie got this rate down the street, right? And I'm like, well, it depends. So I know I sound like an attorney. It depends, everything depends. Because it depends on your credit score. It depends on what it is you're wanting. It depends on so many factors. Like, what do you want? How do you want it to move forward, right? So it depends. So a tax book may not be the answer for you because it might say things that don't fit you. You need to have a discussion with a CPA, right? You can take the book, bring it to the CPA and say, this is what I read, right? And this is how I want to move forward. So you can put ideas together. But what's in a book isn't always necessarily what's right for you because it depends on everyone. Everyone's like a fingerprint. No two are alike. Every situation is different. So you have to really hash it out, okay? Just like credit repair. It depends. You have to hash it out. So talk with Becky. So we went down a little bit of a rabbit hole there, so let's jump back on track here. And you can use your retirement accounts to fund your real estate deals. So if you're setting up a 401k, this is another example of, so not just your 401k, but if you did have that structure and you're paying your kids and they have a 401k, you can actually use those to invest in real estate that then catapults their funding of their 401k that then pays for their college. Because none of it's touched until they're older, right? You pull it out for college. So these are just some of the things I geek out on. It's all about this whole seminar that we're putting on here today is to open up your eyes to all these different ways, right? It's going to depend on what you need and how you want to move forward and how fast you can get there, okay? Yeah. I must have put this presentation together. It's not. Okay.
You are so sexy.
Okay, so what is your money story? Like, when I grew up, my parents were hard workers. Nobody had got to college or even graduated high school. So there was no money talk. There was lots of argument talk, but there was no real money talk. And I learned later, I thought we were just different or broke, whatever. But I learned that that's a majority of households that we're not educating our kids about money, which is why I tell that Mark story, so that you can then understand how you can educate them with the money, right? So some people think, or grew up hearing, go get a job, work hard. Money's the root of all evil. Money can't buy happiness. Isn't that a song? But you want to be a leader of your money. Okay, being a leader of your money, regardless of your age or income. Money's just a tool. It's losing its value as of today, and past history is losing its value. It's no longer tied to gold, so it's almost like why even have it, right? So, some of the most successful entrepreneurs are high school dropouts. It wasn't about the money story. I have, some of my students are 23-year-olds, some are 73 years old. Just, it doesn't matter where you're at. What's important is to take that step to move it forward. Okay? So if you ask any accountant or financial planner, they'll tell you a majority of entrepreneurs, 5% of them are wealthy. They're generational. They grew up in it, right? 15% are middle class. 80% when older will work for the money, depend on the government. I don't know how they're going to do that anymore. Or they need their family to support them. So when I first got introduced to real estate, I was renting a house, and there was a knock at the door, and it was the landlord's daughter. And she said, my mom has to sell off some of her inventory. I said, inventory? You can have more than one house. I didn't know, right? That's how broke mindset my parents were. None of that was taught to me. I had no idea about buying houses. And she says, well, yeah, she's had a stroke. And we have to sell off some of her inventory to pay for her long-term care. And at the time, I'm like, ooh, I get to buy a house. This is fun. But looking back now, I thought, how freaking genius is that? That she used her retirement to pay for her long-term care. Where's that plan? Nobody gave me that plan. Nobody told me that. So that's part of my mission, is getting out there and helping people understand that plan. That you could do it too. Don't be a part of the 80%ers. Typically, as entrepreneurs, we get a client or a commission check. We take that check, we deposit it into our personal checking. Spend the entire thing and struggle to pay business expenses. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen this. 15% of entrepreneurs, and these are all statistics, I can't even say that word, statistics, that I've looked up and just was baffled. So the middle class, they've learned, oh, I need a business account. So they get a business account, they get a tax account, and then they pay their business expenses. The wealthy have specific accounts that you put everything in. Okay? 33% off the top for taxes. Uncle Sam needs his cut. You have to pay your quarterlies. Business checking, 15 to 10% profit. We exercise profit first studies. Business expenses, to business checking to business expenses. And then to a wealth account. This is something a lot of entrepreneurs miss. It's not the traditional put something in the savings account, emergency fund. This is build wealth account, okay? Different. And then you have your business to personal. This is how it should flow, okay? And then you have your real estate. Don't forget to have fun. You gotta have a percentage there that says go have fun. Okay? Y'all got that? Yeah. There's a lot of people out there that don't even think to chop up their money into different buckets. So So Dave Ramsey, I don't know if you guys know who he is, he's pretty popular. He says to get jars and put the money in jars, right? I'm like, okay, well, where's the interest on that? Yeah. Just saying, I'm an interest kind of girl. But the most important thing, if you learn nothing here today, is that your personal should be separate from your business. The IRS does not like you to commingle. Paying for school clothes out of the business account is not right. Okay?
So those are all 5 different percent?
Yep. And, you know, start building equity in your life. Create the wealth. Oh, this is what I told you earlier. See if you don't follow slides. But having a small business and cash flowing assets is the secret sauce if you read the tax law. Okay, that's really it. It leads you to so many advantages just by those two things. All right, there we go. So, 4 levels of real estate. Yay, we're here. So there, I talked about how many different ways that you can get into real estate. And some people go, well, I just don't have a lot of money, or I just don't understand how to do it, right? Or they get in it and then they mess it up because they weren't educated to keep it correctly, right? So there's different levels. There's wholesale, fix and flip, buy and hold, and money lending. That's the gist of it right there. You can play in those fields pretty heavily. Okay? This is how you break it down. As wholesale, typically you don't really have much money in the deal. You don't need money. This is how you do the no money down strategies. But it means it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to do the research and put the deal together. Okay? Fix and flip means you have some money that you're going to bring to the table. And you have some time. So it's sort of like a mixture of both. Right? Buy and hold, this is where you can then build your portfolio, which means you have money to put into it because you're not going to sell it off, right, to create money, and you have some time. And then there's money lending, which is also putting your lazy assets to work, which means you have nothing but money in the deal and hardly any time in the deal. Does that make sense? Break it down for you a little bit. So I have done interviews with multimillionaires and billionaires. And do you guys know who Sharon Lechter is? She is the co-brander, or she created the brand for Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. So Sharon Lechter allowed me to interview her. She is a multimillionaire and has done amazing things in her life, creating the brand, being Robert Kiyosaki's partner, and creating a wealth structure. She's also a CPA, so I got to ask her to geek out on all the CPA stuff. But the main thing I asked her is the assets that sustain her wealth. She said currently she was doing buying up land because she needed a tax write-off. Because land is not an income-producing asset, right? It's not giving you cash flow. You're having to pay taxes on it, so it's costing you money, right? So that's how she takes care of her tax part. But she said real estate was the #1 investment she made to build her wealth. And then she bought businesses. She bought their equity. And she said intellectual property. This is the #1 thing that most people miss is intellectual property. And if you have a small business, you have intellectual property and you need to protect it. Or someone's going to take it, use it, and use it again. Okay? You have to have assets in your business. I just like to joke around just a little bit. So some of us have a cash flow problem. But let's talk about lazy assets real quick. What do they mean to you? So don't be fooled if your money's sitting in a bank account, but you're actually getting any money while it's in there. So if it's sitting in the bank account, you're losing money. Okay? Because interest costs more than what you're getting. Oh my goodness, I am tongue-tied all of a sudden.
You're sexy.
I'm being real sexy right now. Inflation, that's the word I wanted. Inflation is way higher than the interest that you're getting in your bank. So you get why you're not making any money and why you're losing money. Right? A lot of people think, I'm just going to save it, I'm going to put it in the bank at my 0.02% my bank. No good. No good. So, and your 401k, I got questions about your 401k, like who's managing that for you? And this is my beef with financial planners. And I have a very dear friend that's a financial planner. And some of the things that they do is just to be commission-based for you, not for you for your wealth, what's good for you. They just do what's commission-based, right? They don't promote real estate, which is an awesome asset investment to be in. But you need to lead it. You may not understand it, but you need to lead it. What mutual funds are in, it's in, what stock market, what's going on. Okay? So then you can understand if you're going to lose half of it in the next down market. Right? It's not protected. Real estate is insured and secured. Your money's protected. That's the big difference. Yep. Had I just done that, I remembered the word. So these are some ideas of lazy assets that you can put to work. Sapphires, your check, yeah. Like I said, it's sitting in the bank, it's not making you any money whatsoever. So if you have money in any of these, you need to put it to work. You need to put it to work so that it's creating more cash for you coming in. And just as an example, so I'll give you a Mitt Romney example. You guys know who Mitt Romney is? So he ran for presidency, for those that don't know, and he was scrutinized from his IRAs. Why do you have $1 million IRAs? How do you do that? You must be doing something illegal. Totally legit. So when you take the money out of the IRA, you put it into an investment. Let's just say we did a fix and flip, right? You take that money, put it in the fix and flip, and let's say you made 30 grand on your money. So the money you put out there plus the 30 grand goes back into the IRA. You don't get it in your pocket. It has to go back into the retirement account. So he did that by buying businesses, real estate, and multiple investments that just flourished his IRA. He has multiple IRAs in the millions. You guys could do the same thing, right? It's just we're not taught this, that's all. Period. So learn it, do it, grow it, you're good. So self-directed IRAs are pretty much what's leading the industry right now. The desire to have assets is getting more and more important because, I mean, just for example, 2008, like who had a 401k that got cut in half, or a HELOC that got cut in half, or, you know, so many people lost so much money from the stock market. And your 401k is tied to that, so manage it, know what's going on. You're not the professional, I get it, but work with the professional and lead your money, okay? Real estate has been most popular. The one asset alone has driven tens of thousands of investors over the past 7 to 8 years. It's just, so the stock market is old news, really. Over the past 7 to 8 years, people are scared now. They want something that's more secure. So get your credit fixed, buy real estate, and get secure. Create cash flow, right? The recession is here. Are you ready? So the last recession, I did a killing. It was great. So don't be depressed because it's coming, because the recession is where millionaires are created. Right? So what are you going to do? Make your move, right? In 2013, I did 22 houses. 22 houses. Because I could pick them up like 6 packs. It's coming again, right? Get your money. That's why it's so important to get your money, get your business, get your money going. Get your cash flow. So you are the net worth of the network you keep around you. If you're surrounding yourself by people that are Debbie Downers and they don't understand entrepreneurism, they don't understand to lead their money, they don't understand, you know, what you're doing, they're just being a crab. And I mean this gingerly because it's what we call the crab in the bucket syndrome. You're trying to do your dream, right? If you go to a fisherman and he's got a bucket there, and he puts one crab in there, that crab can crawl out all by itself. But if you put a bucket of crabs there, you don't even have to put a lid on it. Because the other crabs won't let the one that's reaching for the stars get out. They'll pull them down. And that's what we do as a human race. We pull each other down. Your friends don't understand. Your family doesn't understand. And that's why you're coming to seminars, events, and whatever it takes so that you can reach for the stars, right? Don't let them take you down. Your net worth will reflect from your network. This is my network. I surround myself. These are my students, my people, my community. It's a ton of fun. A ton of fun. And if you don't jump out of your comfort zone, you will not reach your dreams. You will not reach your dreams. You'll grab your blankie and go, it's just so much easier to be the way it was. Jump out of that. There are some things that will hold people back, regardless how much they try. They're scared. And the only reason you're scared is because you're not educated. So all you need to do is get educated and the fear goes away. Right? Grab some knowledge. People fear that they don't want to look stupid. Someone's going to put me down. Which is why we always set a safe container when we do events, to make sure people can ask whatever question they want and not look or feel stupid. Right? We're adults here. We weren't born knowing everything, which is why we're here trying to learn it. Okay? And some things, people think that, well, I just don't have enough money to manage, so why am I even going to try doing this? Go create it. Go create it. We are natural creators. Go create the money. And they might think they're a burden. They don't want to burden somebody, so they don't share their burdens with others. People don't like to say, God, I'm hurting today. Or, I didn't pay that bill and now I'm in collections. I'm ashamed. I don't even want to talk about it. Because I'm a bigger person than that. I don't even know how it happened. So you don't talk about it. But if you did, it'd be an easy fix. Someone can say, oh, that's just no big deal. Let's just fix it. It's that simple. And that goes for most of the areas of your life, right? Speak up about what you need.